One of the things expected of a world-famous author like myself is to appear in public and read from your works. Why this is desirable, I have no idea. Most authors are authors because they lack any kind of social ability or stage presence whatsoever. Almost all of us are photophobic, bizarre-looking individuals who spent our childhoods receiving wedgies and beatdowns from the alphas of our neighborhood. And we turn to writing generally because it's the sort of thing you can do for years in private and never once receive a beatdown for it. Trust me, your average writer is better off hidden behind a curtain while a trained actor, a reanimated Richard Burton for example, reads from the pages slipped under the hem. It is, of course, terrible. It isn't terrible because of my deficiencies or anything. I don't suffer any kind of fear of public speaking. I'm nervous up there, but not cripplingly so, especially after a few beers. And I've even been told by independent sources that I can be somewhat entertaining from time to time. No, it's terrible because my writing, and most writing, wasn't meant to be read out loud. Least of all by me, a man whose speaking voice doesn't resemble a reanimated Richard Burton's at all. Ah yes, the life of a writer is a rough one. You have to be ready to beat pants at a moment's notice, you have to be ready to drink heavily without warning, and you have to be ready to read the last 10 pages of your piece despite the fact that you just read the best joke in the fucking thing, paused for laughter, and heard people shifting in their seats. Assuming there are people actually sitting in the seats at all. How do I do it? 1. Drink. Now I realize that most of my advice begins with drink, or the clever variation, drink heavily, but this time I mean it. If the reading is in a bar, take advantage. If the reading is in a bookstore, go to a bar beforehand, or bring a flask. Don't get wasted. No one wants to see you stagger up to the microphone, stare pop-eyed for a moment before puking all over the first row, and then fall over unconscious. Or, yes, they do want to see this, very much so, since it would be fuck-all entertaining, but fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life. Pass out at the bar after a triumphant reading and you're a colorful literary character. Pass out on stage and you're a problem drinker, a subtle but important distinction. That said, I encourage you to do whatever relaxes you. For me, that's a few beers, preferably with friends. For you, maybe it's yoga, or Earl Grey, or vigorous masturbation, whatever. The point is, be relaxed. 2. Read through your material. Okay, you wrote it, Bubba, but trust me when I say there's a world of difference between reading something off a page and reading something out to a crowd. The rhythms are different and the grammar can fuck you up. I end up editing stuff a little bit before public reading, because my writing is comma-afflicted and built upon the swampland that is the humorously run-on sentence. It reads well in my head, but not out loud. If you've ever heard someone read a piece without basic inflection and pacing, you probably committed suicide to escape, and you're reading this from the next world. Say hello to Marlon Brando, please. 3. Be fast. There's about a 5-minute limit to people's toleration of public reading. Trust me, I've been both an audience member and a reader. If you're reading a super serious piece about sexual abuse and drug addiction and the searing soul pain the character suffered, you've got 5 minutes to get in, crush our will to live, and get off the fucking stage. Any more than that, and you'll have to call an ambulance to have the audience revived. If you're reading something light and breezy, and most importantly, funny, you can stretch it to, no, 5 minutes is still your recommended limit. People just do not want to sit there and listen to you for longer, Bubba, unless you're A, the reanimated corpse of Richard Burton, or B, a naked hot chick. A corollary to this rule is to never read for more than one piece unless they're very, very short, and especially if you're reading serious literature up there. The only thing worse than surviving 15 minutes of serious literature as read by a monotonous surf reader is that moment where they end, pause for breath, and then shuffle the pages to begin seriously boring literature part 2. That sound you hear as you collect your strength for the second part of your reading is the entire crowd slumping a little in their seats. There you go. 3 easy rules to success. Or if not strictly success, at least a lack of failure. Or if not even a lack of failure, a lack of being chased out of bookstores and bars by a screaming mob bearing torches and nooses. Or if you do get chased by said mob, at least it won't be because you forced them to sit through 30 minutes of serious, soul-bearing writing.